design lives here.
Good evening, televiewers. We are happy to be back with you today, and also happy to have Miriam v.d Plassche, who is a manager of the Palm Island, one of Aruba's outstanding attractions, and probably one of the busiest.
Thank you.
And may we compliment the Harold Mellenberg family and his children, and for building such a beautiful property, staying with it and developing it over all the years, when many people thought it wouldn't work.
Yes.
And it worked, and of course you have Warren Stanley with his management team, of which you're part, and my compliments, because I visited the place a couple of times, and it is outstanding, clean, well managed, and so it's happy to have you here today, Miriam.
Thank you, happy to be here.
And you know, you have a very impressive and diverse background. I've read your curriculum. I've also had the honor of having you in one of my management courses,
yes,
and that was very nice too. So maybe you know, you can say a little bit about your background and your studies and so on, because I find it's very appropriate for the diverse responsibility you have at the Palm Island, running so many things, so many people at the same time, so many activities, technical issues, food and beverage issues, all those things. So maybe you can talk a little bit about your background and what you've studied and your experience, and how it has helped you with your present job.
Yes, well, first of all, I am a little bit of an adventurous person. You have to be that to do my job. And when I finished my studies in Holland, and it happens to a lot of young people, certainly nowadays, you do not always directly get the job you want in the direction you want. So that's, after a while, I decided, okay, let me do something else, and let me try and find out if there are other ways to earn my money. So that's why I came to Aruba when I was 23. And of course, when you come to Aruba, it's not always the job you want at the time you want it. So you have to, what I did is I looked in different places, and I wasn't afraid to, you know, go out of my comfort zone and see if I could find a job in another direction. So when I came here, I even was a tour guide on a horse for 850 florins a month. And I enjoyed it, I liked it, and every job you take, every time you learn something. Yeah. So that is what I did. And of course, I have a lot of different studies that I did.
Yeah. So you even have a technical study, yeah?
Yes, I went to the MTS, right. And so there I learned a lot about technique and a lot about chemicals, and that helps me in my job, because we have a lot of technical parts on the Palm Island. We have boats, we have pumps. Of course, we have the water park with all its chemicals. So that actually all, you know, it fits, it comes together. I even had my own restaurant for a couple of years. So that's the F&B part that's helping me a lot. And I also worked in a laboratory, also here in the hospital. So that's helping me when I set up the first aid. We have a very well running first aid. All our staff is CPR and AED certified.
Trained, yeah.
And I have, together with our safety officer, we put up a very well-running first aid. So that is how all my different parts and all my different...
Right, because it's so diverse,
yes,
there's so many things. It's
yes.
like a little city there that you have to manage,
yes.
with all those things. And I remember, actually, I had a young boy tell me that worked there in a summer job, that the training was so rigorous that to keep them in shape,
yes.
He had to even swim. Part of the program
yes.
was he had to swim from the
yes.
land to
yes.
the
yeah.
island
yeah.
as a training,
yeah.
and then they had also other training courses in physical fitness, and I was impressed.
Yes.
You keep your people
yeah.
really sharp.
Yeah.
And so, because this is about management and leadership, and the idea is that not only do we entertain our guests that are looking at us, but that we also share a couple of good ideas about management and leadership. And since you have a tremendous experience, we'll go a little bit deeper into that.
Okay.
One of the things I know you did was you, amongst others, you you attended the management and leadership course, that conference that I have a couple of times a year. And can you tell our viewers what you took away from that? What did you get from that conference?
Yeah, I went there, and I think it was in the beginning when I started on the Palm Island, so it really helped me a lot. And what I really got from that is that you have to manage your time very well. Okay, have a to-do list and try to stick to that list, because when I'm in my office, there's always a phone going on, there's always somebody stepping in, and before you know it, if you do not have a list, okay, this I need to do today, then you're distracted from your list, and at the end of the day, you didn't accomplish anything.
So one of the things you got is time management?
Time
Became
management,
a better time manager?
certainly time management, and also that don't get too deep into certain parts of your business, because then you lose the overview of the whole business. So what you trained us and learned us is that you have to conduct the orchestra, you have to know how all the instruments work, but don't keep playing one.
Don't go and play the piano.
No, don't
conduct
play
the orchestra.
Yes,
right?
indeed.
Well, you know,
indeed.
interestingly,
Yes.
we had another, which will film soon, will be on air soon, with a session with some youth leaders, 15 to 18-year-old kids or young adults. And one of them said, you know, when I asked her, what do you understand with leadership? She said, well, it's like conducting an orchestra, a symphony orchestra, and however, with I'd like to say with jazz. I said, why with jazz music? She said, because in jazz you innovate. So as you're conducting the orchestra, one has to also innovate as things come up that are unexpected.
Yes,
no?
yes, that's
And so going forward, what are some of the challenges, let's say the specific challenges you have in your job running the Palm Island, and how do you deal with them? In the area of management, leadership, how do you deal with these challenges?
Okay. Well, I had a lot of challenges, and I like tackling challenges and solving problems. That's something I really love to do. When I started on the Palm Island, I actually was a F&B manager, so I only run the F&B, but I saw what was happening on the island. I saw all the problems that were there, and I try to see how that's something I do also. I look how other people work, what they do, think about it, what would I do. So it was like, okay, it was not like that I was thrown on the island, okay, you run it now. I had a little time to adjust. And the problems, one of the biggest problems I have is, of course, my staff. Staff is always difficult. They're human beings, and on the Palm Island we have a lot of different nationalities and personalities, and yeah, you need to learn to cope with that. And then also, of course, on the Palm Island we have a lot of maintenance. The environment, the influence of the salt and the sun and the sea, it's enormous. It's a constant ongoing challenge that we have. And we tackled a lot, and I couldn't do that alone. I'm really thankful for the trust I got from Mr. Molenberg and his family, and also the help and the support of our general manager, Warren Stanley. And then, of course, my colleagues. I cannot run the island alone. That is also what I constantly say to my staff. My job is to run the Palm Islands, but I cannot do that alone. I need your help. Right. And I need to be able to trust you to do your work well, because the Palm Island is a very big island, and I cannot oversee what is going on when I'm at the right spot, what is going on at the left spot.
How many people do you manage there? How many people work on the Palm Island?
We now are almost at 70 people.
70 people,
yeah,
wow.
And that's not including the F&B.
And how many different cultures or nationalities you think?
Oh, we have
estimate?
Philippines, Venezuelan, Colombians, of course a lot of Aruban people also, Dutch, Jamaican. We have a lot of different, and it's nice, it's very nice to learn also the cultures and their way of thinking, and how we can form a team together, even though we have those big
differences, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
would you say that you also have to look for the similarities besides the differences in cultures? You also have to see what binds everybody together.
Yes.
All these different people, different thoughts, different ideas. What brings them together, and how do you bring them together?
Well,
maybe in brief you could say that, because we're getting to our first break.
Okay. What I always tell them is that we work on a fairy tale. Because the people who come to the Palm Islands, they work very hard. They're Americans, but they still have to work very hard. They have to save very hard to come here. And when they come to the Palm Islands, they enter the island and say, wow, you know, they see the blue sea and the sky and the fishes and everything that they can imagine can happen in their vacation. And what I tell my staff is that we have to gather and work on that fairy tale. And that those people, that their whole day will stay a fairy tale.
So you give them a vision of,
yes.
we have this fairy tale, we have this nice story, this nice experience to share with people. Now let's all get together and go towards that goal, that everybody that leaves there has to be happy with the experience they had, and maybe surpass their expectations, at least meet them. And how many people come in and out a day?
Around 250, 300 people.
250, 300 people come every day.
We also have big groups, for instance, local groups that can go up to 100,000 people also. Yes.
Well, great. When talking about time management, I have to manage the time here, and we're going to cut for a break. We'll be right back. Okay?
Design lives here.
And we're back with Miriam, Executive Manager of the Palm Island. Great attraction. And Miriam, as you may know or may not know, EQ3, the furniture store EQ3, is our host. And so we need to talk a little bit about EQ3 without it sounding like a commercial. But of course it is a commercial. And very coincidentally, I heard that because EQ3 has a line called Telescopic Casual, which is outdoor furniture, beautiful outdoor furniture. And very coincidentally, I found out that on the Palm Island, you have some of that product from years ago, before we even started, that you're very happy with. Maybe briefly you can tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we spoke a little bit before about our maintenance, that it's a constant thing that we have on the Palm Islands. And what happened to one of our restaurants, the Miramar, is that we had to paint it every 6 months. The chairs, the tables, every time it was the same. So once a year I go to the States, to Aruba, and there's a floor where you can see all the new things that come out for attraction companies. And there's also a part, of course, about maintenance. And there I found a stand of telescope. And there I saw a table, and we have them now in our restaurants. And the table is made of material that they use also for the decks of yachts. So basically you can throw that table into the sea and nothing will happen to it. And we now have those tables in the restaurant already for 3 years. And they still look like the first day they come.
Fantastic.
So it saves us a lot of work.
Okay, so without being paid for it, you're willing to say they're really good, the telescopic
very
casual.
good, very good material.
Excellent,
and if something stays well on the Palm Islands,
it'll stay well everywhere else.
It will stay well everywhere else.
Salt all the time, wind, etc.
Yes.
So and following the maintenance and management of maintenance, because you know, not only do you understand maintenance, but you know how to manage your maintenance crew.
Yes.
You must be doing a good job, and you know the reason is, and you didn't know this, but one of my friends, very close friends, went to the Palm Island with his family, and he's a stickler for detail, and he's a lawyer, by the way, and he's also obsessive with being clean, everything clean around him. a little bit of an obsessive personality, but a wonderful person.
Okay.
And he told me this story, I couldn't believe it. He said, you know, when I went into the bathroom at the Palm Island, which are now air-conditioned, I understand.
Yes.
He said, I love that. First of all, that the bathrooms are air-conditioned. And secondly, he said, I took apart, I disassembled an air-co duct to check the filter, and the filter was clean. Incredible, he said. You know, these people must be really doing a great job. So I'd like to compliment you about your maintenance, and I assume everything is like that. That it's not only that filter, or most things are like that.
We try to keep the maintenance up. It's not easy, but we try to do it. And I welcome people to, when they come to the Palm Island, to look around and look for these kinds of things. And because that helps me, because sometimes if you see the same things every day over and over again, you tend to get a little bit blind. So it's nice if people just visit and then say, you know what, I saw this here or I saw that there, and then I can, you know, take action about that. And my maintenance people, they work very hard, but there's a lot of work, so you have to organize that really well. I, of course, have somebody who helps me with it.
How many maintenance people do you have on the island?
We have approximately 5 now, and I think also 5 working on contract basis for projects we have. Yeah. So it's around 10 people total, and I think I have enough work for another 10.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Yes.
I don't want everybody to think that this is just a feel-good session between you and me, but I need to say something very positive about you also, and that is, and it's a trait of good leaders and good managers, and that is, you know, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but your attitude is so important in leading and managing people, so they follow a positive attitude. And if there's one thing I always notice with you is that you have passion for your work.
I do.
And in fact, one of your bosses was discussing this with me. He said something about Miriam. She has passion for her work. She loves the Palm Island. She loves her work. Yeah. And I like to share that also with our viewers that, and upcoming managers, that you need to engage yourself and you need to be passionate about what you're doing so you inspire and motivate other people. That's the best inspiration and the best motivation. Yes. I'm not saying that managers have to get up there and go ha ha ha, rah 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 the whole day, but just in the way you act and the way you talk and the way you feel, it has to be positive. Now, what other management leadership skills, points, things maybe you learned in our conference or outside that you say are very important in your job and that you've been doing to make a better, you know, result? What other aspects? Communication, delegation. Maybe you can talk about 1 or 2 of those subjects.
Okay. Well, I always think of myself as not an ivory tower manager. So I do not sit up in my office the whole day and then delegate. Yes. Right. So of course I have a lot of desk work. I have a lot of paperwork I have to do. I explain that also to my staff. You know, I have what my work is, and that I sometimes need to be in the office. Sometimes I need to go to the main office, so I'm not always there. But when I can, I will go on the floor, I talk to my staff, I talk to my guests, and I help out. If I see somebody needs help, even if it's only for like 15 minutes or half an hour to get them, you know, back organized again, I will just hop in and help them out. And then if I see they can handle it themselves, I let them handle it themselves. So I trust them to do their work. Yes. I'm not a person who is breathing in their neck the whole day. So it's very important that you give your staff the trust that you know they can do their job. If you every time step in and every time take away their job because you want to do everything yourself, then you give them the feeling you don't trust them. You give them the feeling that they don't know their job. And it's so important for them that they see that you trust them, that you respect them, and also, sometimes you have to tell them, okay, this can be done better. Or when they do a really, really good job, then really thank them for it, because they help you with your
recognition,
management.
Great recognition,
yes,
good feelings, and very good. And
we now also have, for instance, my maintenance people. They come up with an idea. They come to me and say, you know what, we want to do something with the little garden there behind the showers, and we have some turtles. Can we start something? Sure, fine, do.
You let them take their initiative.
Yes, and then they build a whole new turtle shelter. We have now 8 turtles, and we have feeding times at 10 and 2 o'clock, and then people can hold the turtle, make pictures with it. It's a big success. And then it's really nice that they come up with the initiative themselves, and then you appreciate them for it, really.
Good. And you mentioned in our little talks in preparation also about that you have little meetings in the morning early, and I think that's great because a lot of managers mistakenly walk into their organizations and go right to their books or their computer or their laptop. Sometimes don't even properly say hello.
Good morning.
So
Yes.
that little huddle, they call it also a huddle, you know, like the football players huddle together. It's actually, maybe you can talk a little bit, when do you do it, how do you do it, how long do you do it, because I think it's a great...
Okay. I learn my managers to do that every morning at 9 o'clock, and sometimes I do it myself. And so then you go down, you have your lifeguard stuff, because basically it's the lifeguard people, and because also on Palm Island we have different types of people. We have tourists, we have cruise people, we have local people. Sometimes we have big groups with special needs. So you discuss the day, what type of groups we have, what do we want, do some people want something extra, and then yeah, you have a group that knows what's going to happen that day, what they need to do, and then yeah, it doesn't need to be long, only 5 to 10 minutes. Just tell them, okay, the day's going to be like this. Let's go for it. Let's make a nice day, and then off we go.
Very, very motivating. Managers and leaders, get together with your people every day just for a couple of minutes and get everybody on the same frequency and the same music and go forward. Excellent. Miriam, what other points or other ideas do you have we can share with our young and upcoming leaders about management and leadership or your job?
I once spoke with, well, not once, a couple of times I spoke with my staff. They can come if they have a problem to me, and then most of the time it's at the end of the shift. We have a little bit of time and we can talk together. And then I once had a young man, come to me and he said, yeah, you know what, I want to be like you. And I said, but you need to be patient. You know, I'm 50 years old and you're 20, but I'm already 23.
By the way, you don't look 50.
Thank you. And he says, I'm already 23. I said, yeah, well, when I was 23, I was doing the dishes in a restaurant in the weekends when I was studying. And I said, you know, if you want to grow, you also need to study, you need to learn, and you need to be patient. And then, after, he's now coming back to Aruba because he actually went to study in Holland, and this year he's coming back. So he, you know, he took the advice and study and grow. Yeah. And that is something I want to give to people who want to be a leader. Be patient. You know, learn a lot on the floor about all the different types of work there is, and then you can grow and help people from
to coach them to be patient. And obviously, patience and youth usually don't go together.
No.
None of us did. And I had an experience like that once where I tried to explain it this way in one of my conferences at a hotel school, and there was a young fellow sitting up front, and the lecture was about how do you put together a business within a hotel. Let's say take a restaurant and from zero, you know, make it work and operate it and make it profitable from zero to finish. And so I was explaining the process to him, and he said to me, I want to know now, though. Tell me, give me the bottom line. You're a bottom line-oriented guy. Give me the bottom line. He kept on interrupting me. And I said, I can't, man. And then he said, why? Why can't you? I said, very simple. Let me explain it this way. If I put you in a ring right now to box, you look like a pretty strong guy, and I put you in with a professional boxer, and I haven't trained you, he's going to beat the hell out of you. However, if I train you and you train and you have the experience and the maturity to fight with this guy and defend yourself, you have a much better chance of succeeding. So you need time and you need training. You know, it takes 9 months to make a baby, sometimes less, but it takes a certain amount of time, and you have to allow that time for being able to grow and to mature. Okay, well, great. So that's a very nice point also. Miriam, we're coming to the end of our program, and really it's very a pleasure talking to you, and you sharing these ideas, and you work in a wonderful environment.
Yes,
I know it's a lot of hard work, but it's a wonderful environment and a great attraction for Aruba. A lot of local people go there now, and as the beaches become more crowded, you will get more people going there. A lot of tourists, a lot of visitors. And so it's really great having you, and we'll visit you one of these days at the Palm Island to see the EQ3 line of outdoor furniture, which is telescopic casual, and take a look at it. Probably Ghislaine, our project manager, will go over and take a look and visit you there one day.
You're
So
very
hey, it
welcome.
was really nice having you, and hope to have contact with you in the future again. And anything we can do for you also, we're here to serve you too at EQ3 also.
Very good, thank you. Well, we're having an upgrade on our new big restaurant, so we're gonna need some new tables.
Good.
So
Hopefully-
I'm certainly gonna come here.
Okay,
to
hopefully we
get
can
them.
be of help to you. And it was a pleasure having you tonight.
Thank you, pleasure being here.
Thank you very much for allowing us into your homes tonight again. And until next Monday at 9:10 on our local TV stations.